What's happening, people? Hope you're well. A little bit of a different panel tonight. Tobes is in Copenhagen, so we are joined by the gang plus Henry Wright from Henry Wright TV. Henry, how you doing, bro?
I see you brought in the big guns. Nah, I'm joking. Yeah, I'm good. Toby's away again. I thought he was in Greece a couple of weeks ago. The guy travels more than flipping than our Champions League team. But listen, pleasure to be back. Evening all, except for you, Lawless. Nah, I'm only messing. Yeah, big up for having me on, Dan. Appreciate that. Much love. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a good show.
Yeah, always welcome, man. I think me and you will have a bit of a better show than some people on the panel. But you know, let's get.
Oh, look at this North London friends, is it? North London buddy.
Listen, we're friends. Do you know what? I never understand this. Lawless hates the fact that me and Potts and Tobes, they gang up on me. It's because if you didn't talk so much crap sometimes, mate, then we wouldn't have to be ganging up on you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Being Romeo and Juliet, innit? Star-crossed lovers, eh?
Absolute madness. Pete, I bet you had a nice weekend, mate. How are you, bro?
I'm very well. Very well. This weekend was a very pleasing weekend for Newcastle United fans. I've got to be honest. We're just loving life right now. I keep saying it every week, but it just gets sweeter and sweeter because most people just expect the bubble to burst, and we just keep proving people wrong every single week. And it is just a great feeling. We're riding the wave. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, man, you are riding the wave. That's why I'm going to start with Newcastle. I'm going to ask Lawless for apology to all the Newcastle fans live on air because he doubted them and said that Pete doesn't deserve his slot on this show because we're talking about race for Europe. Well, last time I looked at the table, Newcastle was sitting in third place, and you're in a relegation battle, my friend. So
Potts, they're still in Europe, though. West Ham are still in Europe.
Yeah. Only just, you know what I mean? In a conference league, which no one cares about.
You like Rafa, don't you? You like Rafa? Yeah? Facts. We're in Europe. Yeah? That's what I'm going to say. No, but once again, Dan Potts misrepresenting what I say, right? Misrepresenting. Listen, I've never not given Newcastle the credit for how they've been playing, said they're doing well, all this, that, and the other, right? Eddie Howe, fucking brilliant, yeah? I'd have him. But my issue was the reaction to where you are now versus when we were there. And everyone acting like Newcastle's here, they're arrived, they're going to do this, that, the other. When we were there, oh, you're going to fall off, you're going to drop off, you can't maintain it, you can't sustain it. This is just you're just holding that position.
You didn't maintain it, did you? Let's be honest.
The attitude is different. That's my problem. I'm just asking to keep the same energy that you did when West Ham were there. Look at this. Newcastle fans, don't let Potts try and make me out to be your enemy. I'm not your enemy. Yeah.
You know what, Lauren? I get what you're saying to a point, but I think the reason why Dan bigs up Newcastle, and the reason why Newcastle are getting so much kind of, in my opinion, deserved praise is not just because we're there; it's the manner in which we're doing it. And you know, Tottenham's not an easy place to go. But look, Henry, I think you'll agree that when we came to your place, we dominated for long parts of the game.
80% of the game. But besides, like the goalkeeper on that day, the distribution was absolutely just. I mean, what he was doing for that Callum Wilson thing. It's like if you're going to body check him, at least body check him. Don't get fucking dropped, right? And we were played off the park. And Newcastle, but this is not a joke. I've actually got money on Newcastle to come top 2. Because I think if they go in January, I think they'll get Maddison, right? And then you're thinking Bruno Guimaraes, who's fucking top of his game, bring in Maddison. You've got Joelinton, who looks like a good footballer for once, right? throw in some actual technical players in there, maybe bring in another centre back and another forward. I think it will be between the top three as it is now. Chelsea at the moment, a big transitional period. Us, we'll have a 8 or a 9 out of window. It will probably be a 4 like it was. We think we're signing R9 from Wish, which we did. And then Man United, big transitional situation, but they've got the right manager, I think. But Newcastle, no European football, 1 game a week. Focus on some of the cups as well. I think they'll be right up there. So
I had to laugh at the Brazil manager who said the reason he didn't pick Joe Linton is because he was playing for a team that were fighting relegation last year and we're in Europe. Well, isn't Bruno doing that?
I already know the reason why he's justifying that decision, and it's because Fred played for his club team when he was manager. So they're very, very close. So he prioritizes Fred above anybody else. So if you look at that Brazil squad,
that might be a reason why Brazil might not win the World Cup. Then.
Maybe, but if you look, let's be honest. If you look at that Brazil squad, that midfield in isolation, there's one player that should not be in that Brazil squad, and it's Fred, and it's the one that he persists with. He even starts ahead of Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes doesn't even start for Brazil. He comes off the bench.
That's mad, isn't it?
And the reason being is because he prioritizes Fred all the time. He even prioritizes him ahead of Fabinho. And when Fabinho was on fire at Liverpool, he was even coming off the bench then. So you can see why he's trying to justify it. If you look at Joe Linton's form in the last year, like he has literally just destroyed.
It's a similar thing to what It's a similar thing to what Conte does when he keeps playing that chicken morale right back. He should be anywhere near that Tottenham team.
Or Moyes there's a lot of managers that do that, They have their favourites.
There's
having their favourites, Lawless, and there's playing a social experiment at right back because
that having their favourites that shit.
For everyone else. I'll go as far as he's the bottom 5 worst right backs to ever have graced the Premier League. He is that bad.
Would you put him worse than Wan-Bissaka?
Oh, yeah. Wan-Bissaka, it's just like flipping a Rolls Royce comparing to a flipping Rover. He's awful. He can't even
have him in January. 15 million is yours. Have him. Take him.
You must have had had players like that.
We've had loads, mate. We've had loads.
No, but this guy. We started the Champions League game with Sanchez at right side centre back and Emerson Royale. Name a worse right hand side in your defence you've ever seen play Champions League football. That is awful, mate. That is so bad. The Brazilian manager, one look at him, went, "Nah, mate, go and play for Peru. You ain't fucking playing here."
Do you know what? I love having Henry on instead of Tobes because he comes on and talks how shit Tottenham are. This is much better. Big upgrade.
You know what? Like
the Champions League, though, mate.
Well, there you go.
Pay extra for the Champions League badge. Look at that. Oh, can I get this next one?
And to make it even worse, I've got my name on the back. Look, you might be able to see
look at that.
But Lawless, you were saying like if Newcastle got players like that, we played Chris Wood up top against Chelsea, and
but who else did you have like before?
Well, Callum Wilson was on the bench.
This game, okay,
against Chelsea, we had Chris Wood, and Newcastle fans when they saw that team come out, they were a bit like, "Oof, like Chris Wood, really?" But I tell you what, he was brilliant. In terms of in front of goal, he wasn't great. His movement wasn't great. But in terms of the intensity in the press, he did not let Chelsea have a second on the ball. The amount of times they were out for throw-ins, the amount of times Mendy was just kicking it anywhere and giving us the ball back. And that was because of Chris Wood. So he's one example. Jacob Murphy, most fans have wanted him at the club for a long time, but he plays so well in his system and he's so fast and he presses so high that he's actually become...
Can I ask you something, Pete?
Go for it.
This is a question I've been getting all week. They've both been both managers have been in charge about a year now. Who do you think's had a bigger effect on the football club? Eddie Howe or Conte? Because that's the question. I've had people coming in my chat, people messaging me on Instagram. I'm sure,
when you think about it, I think it's pretty easy. I think it's a pretty easy answer.
It's Howe, isn't it? It's got to be Howe.
But Conte come in, we were in a Conference League. We went 5 games without even getting a shot on target. Straight away he comes in, turns Harry Kane around.
Yeah,
and then
but
puts us back into the Champions League.
Okay,
Yeah, but like-
I'll raise that with we were 19th in the table when he took over. We ended up finishing 12th, but we ended up producing Champions League form in 2022, the back end of the season. Players like Fabian Shaw, the way people talk about Fabian Shaw right now, Bruce wasn't giving him a game. He was on the bench every week. He only started playing when Howe came into the team. Like
Joe Linton was a striker as well, wasn't he?
Joe Linton was playing up front.
Wasn't it against us, Pete? Against United, he put him in midfield.
No, it was against Norwich a few weeks before, because we had Kieran Clark, who was shocking. He got sent off after like 10 minutes in that game, so we had to rejig the team, and we ended up playing midfield, and it just kind of like it just blew up from there. So Joe Linton, Fabian Shaw, Miggy Almiron is turned it around massively. Then you look at other players like Jacob Murphy's. We're getting a tune out of him. Like we wanted him out for God knows how long. You know, it's players like that
Longstaff as well. He's
Longstaff now. It's unbelievable. Joe Willock was in horrible form. We've managed to turn that round, and then he's gone. You know, okay, we've ended the season. We've stayed in the league, great. But what he's done, he's continued it on. So it's not. We've took it into a new season, and now we're sitting third in the league and comfortably third in the league. Really, you know, I say comfortably in the top four. Let's say. And deservedly so. So I can't see.
I do get though, Pete. I get where Henry's coming from though. I don't think it's as clear cut. I would go Eddie Howe, but I don't think it's as clear cut because they were terrible under Nuno, like seriously bad. Like, it looked like they were.
Mate, it was that bad.
Yeah, but
we still
that was a short period of time. There was a short period of time they had Nuno. It was like a few months. They still had the.
So do you think they would have got top four without Conte last season? They wouldn't have. Made
but that's just
no chance.
But it's not like Newcastle, like where Howe's come in and transformed the team completely. Relegation battle. Spurs had been in and around the top four for season after season. And what's Conte done? Oh, we got them fourth.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you in terms of it is Howe, but I think Conte has been brilliant for Spurs in terms of what he's got top four wise and what was it? The two signings he made, Ben Senker and Kulusevski. For me,
you say he's had zero money?
The most...
No, like when you compare to like everyone else in the top four, Man United went out and spent 100 million on Anthony. That's more than we spent the last window.
Newcastle outspending people. Is that what you're saying? You accusing?
No, I'm not accusing
Newcastle. You accusing them of spending their way up there? Don't have it.
When you compare, like real talk, you look at Tottenham's windows under Conte. You know, Jed Spence or Jed Bench because the geezer can't get a game for love nor money, right? The guy, I don't know what Emerson Royale, what sexual pleasures he's given to Conte because that guy should not be starting a football match, right? We brought in. He's been given a fucking the French centre back Longley. We wanted Bastoni. You look at Newcastle gone out. Botman starts in both our defences. Starts in practically. It starts for you, Lawless, and you could argue he starts for Arsenal. Right? They've gone out. They bought Trippier. Also starts for you, Lawless. I'd have him at Ben White's doing well, but I'd have him back at Spurs. Nick Pope. I'd have him over Lloris, and I'd definitely have him over Fabianski. Bruno Tomori starts for us. Starts for you. So it's not like they've gone out and bought, shit players. They've recruited very well. Their recruitment's been
not for a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've recruited very well.
Nick Pope was cheap.
Botman 30 million. We got Bruno Guimaraes for I think 35.
Besides Itak, everyone's been under 40 mil.
Yeah. Apart from exactly. Apart from
they haven't even brushed the surface yet. Newcastle in terms of spending.
Honestly, Potts, Dan's just said Nick Pope. He cost us 10 million with an initial payment of 3 million that we paid to.
Said this at the start of the season. I said it. Said at the start of the season.
Someone said Ariola would be better signing.
Newcastle fans were kind of questioning it, saying, "Well, why have we bought Pope when we got Dubravka?" Honestly, it's like night.
Really?
Yeah, people were questioning it. Well, Dubravka's, to be fair, Dubravka's
been a good
He's not pulled up any trees, has he, though? Like
Pope's just another level.
Fucking awful in the cup for us last week. He was fucking awful.
Oh, you signed Dubravka.
Yeah,
he has gone. Pete, let me ask you that serious question, Pete. Can you get top four? Because I think you can.
Didn't think we could get top four.
I'm
Come on, you got to believe now, surely.
Surely, yeah.
I'm trying to play things down. I'm trying.
Don't be coy, Pete. Put that fucking
Put
chest
your
out,
chest,
mate, and
put your
tell
chest
him.
out and say what you think.
Tell
Man.
him.
Lawless will tell you to do it. So
Look,
Do the Ranieri at Leicester. We're going to get Champions League.
do I think that we can continue what we've been doing this season? 100%.
Political.
We can continue playing the way we're playing against every team that we're coming up against. I do. You look at the next few games that we've got when we come back. We've got Leicester away. Won't be easy game. We've got Leeds at home. Then we've got the big one for us, Arsenal away at the Emirates. Massive game. And then we've got, relegation rivals or fighting West Ham at St James's Park after that.
Tell me who you think you're better than, Pete, yeah? I've seen a lot of politicism. I'm seeing a lot of fence sitting, right? Look at your competitors for top four, right? Man United, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, blah, blah, blah.
I think that's a fair question.
Pick those. Which teams would you say that you're better than right now?
Are you talking individual players or in terms of performing?
No, not just performing.
No, a team. So, like, if you get top four, who's not going to get it? Basically,
team performance this season.
I don't think Chelsea get it. I think they're too inconsistent.
Newcastle better than Chelsea. Okay, I'll take.
Don't start this. I'm just saying the way we're playing right now. I do think that.
Mate, to be fair, Lee Gunner is struggling at Chelsea since he's been there.
He's on loan at City, Chelsea, everywhere else, isn't he?
He's everywhere, mate.
I don't think it's a stretch to say Newcastle are better than Chelsea.
I think we perform better than them.
I think squad-wise, team, not necessarily if you go player for player or whatever, and in certain individuals, right? Team, cohesive unit.
Yeah,
I think Newcastle have a better team right now than Chelsea.
I do. I agree with that.
Yeah,
and
I'd agree with that as well.
I would also say, and Dan, you might not agree with this, but I think we've got a better team playing at the moment than Man United. I think our defense is so much better than Man United's. You guys leak a lot of goals. You've got goals. You've got goals in your team. I do believe our defense is better organised and playing better than Man United.
I don't think it's unfair to say that apart from Man City and Arsenal, Newcastle are playing the best football. I don't think it is unfair to say that.
The table doesn't lie. That's the thing, isn't it? The table doesn't lie.
I think Liverpool have an elite manager. I feel that works in and world-class players, right? So that works in their favour. I think.
How many world-class players have Liverpool got, Lawless?
How many?
Yeah.
Salah for sure. Alisson. Virgil van Dijk.
I'm not sure Van Dijk is flawless.
No, he's had a dip, but he's still world class. You don't just lose your world class badge for being.
I give you Alisson. Salah, you can't knock him for his goals. Van Dijk
on the fence with that one.
Yeah. I'd give you that. Who else? That's it.
Thiago. Nunes could be. It's early to say he's world class.
Nunes is turning it, isn't he? Nunes is turning it.
I don't know. I've always liked Darwin Nunes, by the way. I never understood he's crap mark when he's got like 7 or 8 goals. That's not crap in.
Yeah, but he's noodles, isn't he?
That's what people are saying, man. But I don't know, bro. I don't think he's as bad as what people make out.
I think it's fair to say Newcastle are better than Man United and Chelsea. Even though Liverpool are going for a bad spot, they've still got enough where you go, yeah, don't write Liverpool off.
Yeah. Isn't it the other way as well, at the moment with Liverpool? Isn't it the other way as well, though, mate? Like you kind of, I get what you're saying. They have got enough, but then they'll go and smash Southampton 3-1, blah blah. But then they'll go to Forest and lose 1-0, and you think, how the fuck have they done that?
Yeah. That's
the point that Liverpool are at for me at the moment. They're not.
I don't see that. I don't see Liverpool. I'm with you, Dan. I don't see Liverpool in there at the moment. I think Tottenham and Newcastle for me are fighting with City and Arsenal. And the reason I put Tottenham in there is because they got Conte. That is it. I don't like their defense. I don't rate it much their squad, but Conte will do it, mate. He will.
I call it as I see it. I'm not one of these, fairy tale. We're in a title race, etc. If we get one injury to Harry Kane, that top 4 race is done. It's finished.
That's
thing
fair,
is, for
but you
me-
can say that about every club, though.
Yeah, but Newcastle right now, you get Callum Wilson injured, that's fine when Isak's back. They've got goals everywhere.
Henry.
Arsenal have got goals kind of everywhere. We
Honest-
don't. Every single thing goes through Harry Kane.
Can the same not
single
be said
thing.
for United, though?
I agree
Let's
with
be
that.
honest. Can the same not be said for United? Ronaldo, not well. I'll speak about him in a minute, but Ronaldo hasn't been playing anywhere near his level this season. Martial's been injured for most of it. We've had to play Rashford, who, let's be honest, is a left winger. He's not a striker. Or we've had to play a false nine with Bruno. United haven't had a striker this season.
Anthony's has got goals in him, though, isn't he?
You've got Eriksen.
Sorry?
You've got that Garnacho guy as well.
Just-
You've got people contributing.
Just bursting on. Yeah, hang on. Garnacho's only made 4 or 5 appearances this season.
But if you watch the way you play, everything you have different little triangles across the pitch. Goes for Eriksen, goes for Bruno, goes out wide to Rashford or Sancho. When you watch Spurs, we stink. It is disgusting. We go there, 30% possession, but we'll score 4 goals. Because when we counter, you watch, Kane will drop so deep and everything will go for him. You watch, it pains me. Look at Arsenal at the moment. They're playing lovely stuff. They've got goals from Saka, Martinelli, Granit Xhaka looks like a good footballer all of a sudden. Jesus dropping deep. You know, Nketiah want to be Thierry Henry when he comes on, he contributes. With us, without Harry Kane, we are finito. There is
Richarlison not going to fire you up there, Henry.
Richarlison.
I mean, I like Richarlison, but I mean,
He's doing so
far.
2 assists this season. 2 assists.
I agree. I agree with what Henry's saying. Like Dan, you're right. From Man United's point of view, you've had a lot of injuries. Like a lot of people don't realise we had Callum Wilson out for 5 weeks. We had Alan St-Maximin out for 7 weeks. He's barely kicked a ball. He's been getting
that violin picture back up.
Isak's played 3 games this season. You know what I mean? We've had certain players, but despite that, we're still in the position that we are, and that's what Henry's saying is that actually, when those players have been out, an Isak or a Chris Wood or someone else has come in, and Eddie Howe has still got them playing.
Who comes in for Harry Kane? Who does? Who comes in for who?
Yeah,
you haven't got a like-for-like replacement for Harry Kane. There isn't
No.
a like-for-like.
Richarlison played to play as a striker. He's played there for Everton. He can play there.
Yeah,
He ain't been. Kane. When's the last time Kane actually got a long-term injury, Henry? That's a good question.
Well, they're giving him steroid pots. I don't know what they're feeding him. But that guy. I mean, the amount of tackles. What game was it we played in Europe? I think it was away to Frankfurt. They were going in, clattering him, and he's just getting up and brushing it off. I was like, are we watching something from the 90s? Because these are.
And this guy, right? This is the same guy that will dive all over the place, and go, "Oh,
yeah, no, right, you're jealous,
you
mate,
know,
you're
innit?
jealous.
When he wants
You're
to get
jealous.
up and brush it off, he can. But when you make the minimal contact, that's when he flies. You know.
Yeah, if he gets you 3 points, I don't care what we do. Like, I don't the place out.
Henry, Eden's just put in the chat. Son's been crap this season. What have you made of Son this season for you guys? Because
He has been crap.
I've been disappointed by him. I've got to be honest. But from a top
thing is, going into this season, he comes off the back of a golden boot where everything he was touching, he was finishing. He's up there with the best players in the league. We go into this season, and I was speaking to a few of the lads in the group chat about this, and everyone was saying, when we brought in Richarlison, it was supposed to kind of give more competition to our attackers. It's not just the Kane and Son duo act.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened with Heung-min Son, but everything about him has been awful. His touch, the runs. He gets in front of goal and he just completely freezes. And I don't know whether that's down to himself as a player, Conte, but you see his body language. He seems happy. He's sitting there hugging Conte. It's not the animosity you see at United where Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo aren't shaking hands in the dressing room. You know, there's something not going right for Sonny. And we got a hat-trick against Leicester. I was like, sweet as. He's back.
You need to drop him again, mate. Drop him, bring him on, and he'll score a hat-trick.
No. He wants to earn me £100. That's what it is. You know that your mate's son Henry is earning me £100 of
Why is he only £100?
Earned money. Yeah, because that clown Toby decided to bet me that Son would come in within 10 goals of Haaland in the Premier League. Yeah, he would come 10 goals within.
He might have come 20 goals within Ireland this season, mate.
That's what I mean. Haaland is going to have
easy
more than
£100,
£10.
Easy £100. Listen,
Toby's got
I want to
to get out of the gym, mate. The geezer's chest is out way too much. I love Toby to bits. I really do. I speak to him
Every
quite a
day
lot,
is chest day for Tobes.
But that guy don't know what. I don't know what legs is. He goes in there, hits the fucking bench press, and goes home. The geezer's fucking built like a flipping tree trunk. He's just a complete unit, but
he is a unit, mate.
His chest is always out. I mean, on the Big Six the other day, he was getting on to Matisse. I was like, that's fine, mate. We all know when Chelsea go and buy on Nkunku and Guardiola, and we go and probably bring in someone from Charlton Athletic, who's going to be the next best thing, we're fucked again. So, we'll have to see.
Do you know what? This is why I bring Henry on, man, because it's such a different perspective than Tobes. But listen, I do want to move because I know we ain't got Dan United for long, and I do want to talk about this Ronaldo business, man. So, Dan, I'm just letting you have the mic, man. As a Man United fan, what the hell is going on with this dude, man? This is the disgrace, isn't it?
Viva
it
Ronaldo.
Is. Yeah, Viva Garnacho, mate. Because that's who we should be talking about this week, and that's who we should be. The goal against Fulham, stunning. Absolutely loved it. Changed the game. But as always, Cristiano Ronaldo does Cristiano Ronaldo. The fact that I'm not even going to grace Lawless with my anger that I had the other day, but the fact that he uses Piers Morgan, he's aligned himself with the fucking devil, okay? He's aligned himself with the fucking devil. Simple as that. Some of the points that he's come out with, right? The first point is unacceptable. If United have disbelieved that his daughter's not very well, that's disgraceful. There's no hiding from that. That is absolutely disgraceful. And I completely back him on that. The rest of it, go fuck yourself, Ronaldo. Simple as that. Go fuck yourself. You've come out and you've said the club's not where it should be. It's not changed in 10, 15 years. You're telling me Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't speak to people who are still at Man United? You're telling me that? Sir Alex Ferguson, who fucking wanks about him every night. You're telling me that Sir Alex Ferguson isn't at that club every day and doesn't say to Cristiano, look, Cristiano, I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I don't want to piss you off, but the kitchen's not changed, all right? So you might have to eat with piss off, load of rubbish. The fact that he has the balls to go again to say Ralph Rangnick, don't know who he is, why is he in charge of the club? Disgraceful. The fact that he says, I do not respect the manager because he does not respect me is just despicable. Sir Alex Ferguson said no player is bigger than the club. He prided himself on that. And this is what we're seeing now, is a player who thinks he's above everybody else, thinks he's above every fucking rule that's out there. Coming out during a season, I don't care if it's the World Cup now, coming out during a season and having an interview with Piers Morgan and saying, they've done this to me, they've done that to me, they've made promises for me. Grow up. You're not in a team because you're not playing in form. When you are playing in a team, you slow us down. The play is nowhere near as quick and as exciting as it is without you. Bruno Fernandes, different player when he plays with him. Players, I think, are terrified to fuck him off. I think the likes of Sancho is out of form, but I think Sancho's intimidated. I think it shows that. Rashford, I think, can't be asked of him. Just terminate that contract, send him off, and let him go and play where he wants to go. And by the way, right, I'll tell you why he didn't come out pre-season and say, this is a disgrace. They've said that my daughter wasn't well. I'm not playing for this club anymore. It's because no fucking club wanted him in the summer. No club wanted him in the summer. I'm guaranteeing now George Mendes has an offer for him from somewhere. I don't think it's Bayern Munich because Bayern Munich have got brains. They don't entertain people like this. He's got a club that is ready to take him. It's obviously in the Champions League, and that's why it's come out now. This bollocks about my truth will come out. You just don't do it. And I tell you what he does do with this. He pisses all over the hard work that we've done as a club. Okay? We know we're in a transition. It's not been great sometimes this season. But do you know what? When we have lost, I've sat there and I thought, I can see where we're going. I can see a pathway here. He has had his wings clipped, Ten Hag, in several situations. We've got one right back. As I say, we've got the trouble with up front. He's had to try and deal with, utilise players that he's not going to play going on next season, the season after that. Ronaldo does Ronaldo, right? As far as I'm concerned, I'll always think he is a legend. The stuff he's done in the game, you cannot look past that. For me, still is the GOAT. I think he's a stunning player. But to do what he's done now, to turn around and say that the club, the facilities, it's not being run right. It's not being run right. It's this, that, and the other. Fucking hell, yeah. And in other news, water's wet. You don't think we as United fans have not seen this for the past 15 fucking years? We know how bad the club's being run. But you weren't moaning last season when you were having your 500 grand a week. You weren't moaning when you got your 20th goal of the season and they give you X, I think it was $1 million, fucking 2 million bonus. There was no moaning that. This all
£2 million bonus for doing his job.
Sorry?
He got a £2 million bonus. Fucking hell.
This is what I'm saying. So I cannot sit here and back him. And any Man United fan who sits there and says, I back him. You can't, he's been disrespected. He's been this, he's been that. You bollocks. You bollocks.
Can I ask you something?
Do you think? Go on, Henry.
The one thing that I don't agree with what he's done. I think it's disgraceful. But at any point, did you think it was a good idea from a Manchester United perspective to give a scout complete managerial role of Man United?
No.
You have more pressure in the Manchester United manager role than any other role in football. There's so much pressure. You got the amount of merchandise and revenue that club generates per match day. You haven't made, in my opinion, you've wasted hundreds and hundreds of £1 million on talent that was shit. Lukaku, that guy wears Timberland boots. You bought some awful signings over the years and paid over the edge. Why did they not bring Ten Hag in then? Why bring Ralph Rangnick, who's apparently going to become a scout, who then went, no, I'm out of here. Then we go and manage Austria. That there was
just to come in quick, Dan, just come in, because obviously Lisa's brought this out, which I think is a good point as well. Is there not some part of the United fans that are glad Ronaldo's saying some of the stuff about the backroom staff?
We already know.
Yeah, but it's not about informing the fans, Dan. It's not about informing the fans.
Lawless,
you listen.
He's
you lot run around with your Norwich scarf every season.
No, Lawless, let me talk
how
here,
your club is run.
No.
And
he's making himself out to be a messiah. He's making it. No, he's not making that comment. Oh, as Picasso, to be Picasso, you've got to destroy something. Fuck off. You're not a messiah. You're an arsehole who's got too much of this, too much up there who thinks that he's fucking the king and doesn't want to play for the club anymore. If that's the case, then fuck off. Go.
So it's all right for you lot to say it in your Norwich scarves, yeah? And say, the facilities,
Well, yeah, it is, mate, because we go watch them every week, mate.
Why is it not all right for someone who's been
Lawless? Lawless. He's not been there throughout all of this, so I disagree with you, mate.
Yeah, but I'm saying
back 18 months ago.
He was there
18 months ago.
But he's been there. Is it not okay for him to say that? Yeah, the facilities are shit. And yes, it's not news to you, but guess what? It puts pressure on the Glaziers.
You're telling me that Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Some people in the chat don't agree, but people fucking call him the GOAT. You're telling me that his fucking people haven't done a fucking due diligence on United and said, look, hang on a minute. Lawless.
The kitchen. Hey, boy, the kitchen's shite it is, but come back to Man United. Like, fucking hell. If. Why would they be talking about the fucking kitchen?
Where the hell is he from?
He mentioned the kitchen, Lawless. He mentioned the fucking kitchen. He mentioned the kitchen.
I know, but why would Sir Alex Ferguson?
It was an analysis, Lawless. It was an analysis.
No, I didn't know he was Chinese.
It was an analysis. The simple fact is, he's a fucking arsehole. He's got to go.
Okay, Dan, I want to ask you something. Obviously, you've made your points about Ronaldo. Look, Ronaldo is one of my idols. I've loved watching him play over his career. Started at Man United, Real Madrid, and beyond. But I don't agree with what he's done. I don't agree with it. I think he and just in the summer, it's been poorly handled by him as well as the club. But my question to all of this is that why have they allowed him to stay this season? Because this was always going to happen. This was always going to happen. There was no way that we were ever going to get to this point and this type of situation was going to happen. So if someone that doesn't support the club is looking at this from the outside and knows this is going to happen, how has the club not seen this is going to happen? A player that's desperate to leave, just let him go.
There's two reasons,
He
mate.
be in this position right now.
I agree, Pete. I agree.
His team without this circus behind him, I don't understand it. I think a lot of this does need to fall at the hands of the club because the poorest decision of all.
I agree. But there's two points there. Henry alluded to it before. Before the end of the window, we spent 80 million on Anthony. We bought Casemiro in. We bought Martinez in. You looked in pre-season, right? He didn't go on the tour, but who started all pre-season for United and was banging goals in, by the way? Martial. Martial was looking stunning in pre-season. And I honestly feel like they get back off that tour, and I think that they turn and they say, right, Ronaldo, off we go. We've got Martial. That's absolutely fine. We've got players coming through. Martial gets injured.
Martial's a bit of a French Darren Bent, isn't he? He's nothing like he'll get you goals, but there's nothing else to his game. Like
if they're like going, let's fuck Ronaldo off because Martial was good in pre-season. Then
I'm not saying it like that. No, I'm not saying like what I'm saying is that they were hanging their hopes that they could at least push through with Martial. Ronaldo would have cost too much money we couldn't sell him, and that's what the club wanted to do, didn't they? They wanted to make money off him. They wanted to sell him, but no one's going to buy him.
Now, Dan, for you? What do you want to see happen now, Dan?
Well, pretty much made it clear. Just fuck him off. Get him out.
Ronaldo out. Remember when they was all going just let him rock in the car park? Do you remember that when they signed him? They was all jumping in the car park going.
They beat us.
Before I go, can I just ask you all one question? He was meant to go to Man City. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Don't you think that this would have ended up the exact same way at Man City? Do you think Pep Guardiola? No, Pete, I disagree because Pep Guardiola. After 20 minutes, you watch Haaland tracks back. Haaland is part of the fucking unit. Ronaldo doesn't do unit play. Ronaldo does Ronaldo. I think it'd have gone the exact same way.
The thing is, Dan, Guardiola can manage big egos. You know,
and he'd be playing Champions League football as well. He'd be playing in the Champions League.
When Ronaldo's there, Guardiola would say, look, you play this style. If you're not playing, you learn to play this style. And because of the accolades Guardiola has won, Ronaldo would look up to him. Ronaldo's bringing, we've brought in a Dutch Daniel Levy who's won a couple of Eredivisie. That's the way he's looking at it. You haven't won a big major league. You haven't won a big European trophy. I mean, Ten Hag's a fantastic coach, and I like Ten Hag, and he's going to build for the future. He's develops young players like you never believe. But Ronaldo has got a year left, and he's thinking, let's go and win the league. And he's thinking, you ain't got the right guy to do it. If he would have went to Man City, he might have had a bust up, but I think a Guardiola would be better at managing his.
Fair enough, then. So you're telling me Ronaldo honestly come to Manchester United last season and said, fuck me, we're going to win the league with this team. With McTominay with Fred in there, with Harry Maguire in there. I
think he turns up at Man United and realizes very quickly that it's not the Man United that he left in 2009. And I genuinely think, and I'm not just talking about performances on the pitch. I'm talking about everything. The things that he talked about in his interview, the infrastructure, the hierarchy, the way the club is organised. It's all falling apart. All of the ex-players and everybody within the club are talking about it. And he would not have never, ever been able to get away with what he's been able to get away with at Manchester City. Why? It's because the infrastructure at the club is in place. It is better than Man United. They've got a world-class manager. Pep Guardiola is one of the best managers to ever manage in football. Like, there is an instant respect level. I'm sorry, he might have played with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but going into the club and looking at him as a manager, there is no respect there.
So why come to the club then, Pete? So exactly. So you proved my point. Why come to?
Because he had to.
He didn't have to. There was no. He didn't have a gun at his head. Why come to Manchester United with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge and think Ole's at the wheel? We're going to win the Premier. It's just this is what I mean.
It was right towards the end of the transfer window. It was right towards the end of the transfer window. He was leaving Juventus last minute because he wanted to. He was going to stay. Allegri's the one that wanted him out the club. He had to leave, so therefore he had to go to a club. At Man City, yes, he would have gone to Man City, but it would have been so negative because of his history at Man United. He went back to Man United for the love of it all. but he realised very quickly he didn't have the respect of the manager. Ralph Rangnick came in and the respect dropped even further. The performances dropped. The team was falling apart. You saw this damn week in, week out. At Man City, it would have been so different. So different because you've got an infrastructure at the club that is in place. You've got a world-class, elite-level manager that he would have instantly respected. You're playing in a team that's winning every week. When you're playing in a team that's winning every week, I think there's an element of you, no matter who you are, that would be happy to play a part in that, providing that you're winning trophies. Ronaldo, I believe, regrets his move to go into Man United.
Of course he does.
I think he wishes he went to Man City because ultimately what he wanted is to go to a team that was challenging for the Champions League.
Then why did he come to United?
Because Man United were in the Champions League and him being the main man.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge.
It was all part of this. It was all
we
part
have
of
Fred in the midfield.
But you're saying that now. But what I'm saying to you is he's going for the story. The storybook ending is going back to Man United and winning a major trophy with them. That's his storybook ending. He didn't have that, but that was his mentality of why he last minute decided. When you've got Sir Alex Ferguson, who he refers to as a father, going out of his way to call him and saying, "Come back to us," right? It would be very hard for any player, right, to turn that down. With regards to the history that he's had with Sir Alex Ferguson. I think in hindsight, he looks back now and thinks, I should have gone to Man City, because if he'd have gone to Man City, he'd have had another couple of Premier Leagues in his pocket, and he probably may well have made the difference in the Champions League, because he has missed the Champions League. He knows how to perform at that level, and I think he regrets it. But it was a bad decision all round. I'd go back to my original point. Why have Man United allowed this to continue on, this circus, into a brand new season with a brand new manager and a supposed new era? You've just gone back to square one again because you're dealing with all this crap and you're now throwing effectively another season down the drain. That's basically.
I think you've got to get rid of that Alex Ferguson statue, Dan. He brought Moyes in. He brought Ronaldo back.
I agree. Lads, I've got an FA charge I've got to answer to, so I need to bugger off from Sunday League. But before I quickly go, I will just quickly say one more thing. You said that he'd go there and would look up to Pep and wouldn't moan about being sub, blah, 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 blah. I remember him his last season before he left United, throwing his shirt at Fergie, whereas he's got subbed off against City because he was in a huff. Ronaldo answers to one person. Don't buy this bollocks about Fergie. Yes, he calls him his father, but Ronaldo answers to one person, and that's fucking Ronaldo.
Before you go, Dan, so I know you really have got to shoot. Do you think this will affect Man United now, or do you feel like you're going to be okay and Ten Hag will just keep going?
If it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge, yes, it would. With Ten Hag, it's probably happened at the right time. Having a month away, they'll have the time now to decide who they're going to bring in. Blah 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 blah. Ten Hag will get them back, and I don't think this damages us at all. And in fact, if any of those United players have got anything about them, they'll say, right, fuck it, we're going to go now. We're going to show that we can do this without you. Because let's be honest, they've done it without him this season. 3 league goals, 1 league goal, 2 Europa League goals. One of them was a penalty. Nah, off you go. Enjoy where you're going to go, because I won't lose a second's sleep about him.
Fair play to you, Dan. Always a pleasure, mate. I'll see you next week. Take it easy.
Later, guys.
You sort your charge out, bro. Take care,
Take care, guys.
In a bit. I want to leave Lawless and Moyes till last because it's going to be funny. So I'm gonna go Arsenal.
I go ahead off at 8.
Yeah, I know.
That old chestnut.
I just want to quickly get, because I've spoken Arsenal enough on this channel. I just want to get quickly your 3 opinions on Arsenal's 14 games and whether you think it's sustainable. Might as well start with you, Henry, because I know what Lawless is going to say.
Team. Please praise us.
I never said to wank over the Arsenal, mate, because I don't think we're going to win the title. You know, I don't.
Lawless, you're
Henry,
so
let's start with you.
Lawless, you're so
he is salty, isn't he? Thank you, Henry. He is. He hates it.
Listen,
he hates it this season.
No salt.
Listen. Lawless is a good guy, but like, come on, man. Like, just come on. West Ham, you'll do all right in the end, but like, right now you're struggling, aren't you? Like, you are, like, mentally, physically, you're drained, isn't it? I'm speaking to Dom tomorrow, and that guy can't wait for the World Cup. He cannot wait. But anyway, Arsenal, is it sustainable? I think if you get 2 players in January, I think you'll go neck and neck with City all the way. I really do. I mean, I've been Arteta's biggest critic. I've called him pandemic Pep with Ligue 1 for the last 3 years. I think, I'll be real, I don't think some of the signings you've made over the years have been that great. You finished 8th, 5th. However, whatever he's done pre-season has worked. You've got to tune out the players, and every single player, and I hate this word, is like this word is a disease. Every single player is buying into the process. And I think with a couple of additions, I think if you get a big injury to Jesus, it could completely rip everything apart. That's what I'm saying. You need 2 signings. I would still bring in another forward, and I would still bring in another centre-back. Because I think if you get 1 injury to Saliba and 1 injury to Jesus, it's curtains. You need cover. That flipping...
Mate. Party's the one as well, man.
That wannabe Gabriel, he's another Emerson Royale at times. He's got a bozo gene in him at times. But a couple of injuries, I think you'll be right up there. But I'm not going to give him too much praise because I can't fucking stand a manager.
But now, fair play to you, man. At least you're not salty like Lawless. Pete, just quick, man. Thoughts on Arsenal? Do you think we can do the unthinkable, or do you think that just top 4?
No, I think you could do it. You're proving right now that after 15 games or even 14 games, I think you played less than the most other teams.
Oh, shame. Just as he was getting into that,
we've lost him. Just as he was telling it, just go back to pick us up.
The only thing with Arteta is when it comes down to them big games, the big moments, individual management moments, he wobbles a lot. Like Man United, they bring on Fred to nullify Odegaard. What's your counter? When we at the North London derby last year, when we swamped, we spread the pitch as wide as we could to suffocate your midfield, there was no counter.
That was great, Pete. That was really impassioned. The way you I'm won over. You've won me over. So
my internet played up, but just to answer really quickly. Can they Arsenal do it? 110% they can do it. They're proven so far this season that they're playing some of the best football in my opinion, in the Premier League. And it goes back to that question, can you do it later on in the season when the pressure comes on, when the pressure kicks in? Man City have proven year after year that they can step it up. Will Arsenal be able to do that? I think from what Henry's saying, if you get a couple of players that whenever you get a couple of new players in January, it always lifts the club and lifts the players. I think if you can go and do that, it will take you on to that next level, that deep into the Premier League, that you'll still continue this form. I do. I think you've managed you manage Europe in the Premier League really well, which is not easy. Thursday nights and then Sundays and Mondays, you've been dealing with that really well. So why not?
Big up,
this is the season. Look. I think Arsenal and Newcastle have proven that this is the season that if you've got a philosophy and you've got a system and a way of playing, that you can upset teams. I'm not saying that any of us are going to win we're also going to win the league or we're going to get top 4. But what we've proven is a philosophy that if we stick to it and you work to it as a team, that you can be successful. And 15 games in, we've already proven that we can be successful. So why can we not do it for another 15? And if we're sitting on 30 games and we're still in the same positions, I think other people around us will start to think differently.
Fair play, man. Pete, I know you got to shoot, brother. Appreciate you coming on as always, my friend. I know we had to do a bit of to and fro today with people jumping on and off, and we'll try to work as best we can, man. But I'll speak to you soon, brother. Always a pleasure, and keep smiling, man. We'll see you next time.
We'll do. Take care, boys. Great to have you.
Take care, bro.
See you later.
Mate.
Always, man. Always. Lawless, Moyes out. It's all gone wrong. It's done. All the West Ham fans are arguing with each other, sounding like a pretty toxic fan base on Twitter, mate. Talk to me. What's happening?
Yeah, man, it's long. It is very long. It's honestly, like Henry said, I agree with Dom. This break cannot come soon enough because I cannot see how David Moyes turns this around. We've got a lot of deluded fans that back this man, and I can understand.
Everywhere they go.
See, that's that we're massive in spite of David Moyes, by the way. David Moyes is producing our massiveness right now. But Yeah, it's long, and this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with certain people saying, do you know what? I want to stick with Moyes and hope he can turn it around. But it's the ones that acting like we've been having this great season and we're just unlucky. Oh, poor old West Ham. I see people sharing, the Premier League table without VAR. West Ham would be 9th if VAR didn't exist. Well, it does exist. We have VAR. What's the point in looking at the table if VAR didn't exist when it exists? It's like saying, let's look at the table if offsides didn't count. It's a rule. It's a thing. What's the point? The fact that I would not have Arteta as manager.
It's like what James Redmond said. We don't do if, buts, or maybes. We do absolutes.
Absolutes. Well, actually, I know a lot of these like to speak of absolutes.
Would you rather have Moyes? Would you rather have Moyes than Arteta?
I don't like Arteta, to be fair. I just don't like him, and I don't like Moyes. I don't like either of them as people.
Who would you have, Lawless? If he was to get axed tomorrow? Because I've said the one guy I think West Ham should bring in, and you might take the piss out of this. I think Thomas Frank would do an excellent job at West Ham.
Do you know what? He's been a big shout. I think a lot of people are interested in Thomas Frank, and that's the thing. It's all about looking at that manager that can match the players that we've got, and that's what we need. We've bought attacking players for a dinosaur manager, and I don't know why Moyes has spent all this money on these players, but he's signed off on them. He chose not to sign anyone in January, yeah? Same as Arteta, except Arteta signed players to fit his vision and his philosophy in August. Moyes didn't. He signed a load of players that don't suit him at all. Playing Scamacca, who plays in possession-based teams, and playing a system that doesn't offer us possession and leaves Scamacca isolated on his own up top. And then we all sit there and go, and that's where I disagree with Dom, yeah? And Dom will come out and he's like, Scamacca's shit. He's another rally. He's a donkey. Oh, the shit.
So he's a donkey. That cracks me up.
Bielsa.
What about Bielsa?
I like Bielsa. I think he would suit it, but after
he'd run your players into the ground. You'd have no stamina after 3 weeks.
And yeah, his lack of ability to adapt and grind out results when he needed to, and just playing the same way, just regardless. Like
they got no plan B.
Yeah, no plan B. It's like this is it. Like so.
Would you take Scotty Parker?
No, I would. Nah, that's a big gamble. That's a big gamble.
He's better than Moyes, doesn't he?
No, look at his hands off Rodgers. You lot wanted him out fucking 2 weeks ago. Leicester fans.
Rodgers is a bottle job, mate. He do well at someone else. Not West Ham. You need a second manager.
I'd either want to go for a young, upcoming, progressive manager or try and get a top level punch above our
Sporting Lisbon guy. The Sporting Lisbon guy.
Poch. See, did I say Poch? Henry said Poch.
Henry said going there. Poch ain't going there, bro.
Poch, man.
Come on. I'm not salty like Tottenham. Like, I don't want him to go to West Ham. I couldn't care less if he goes West Ham. But he ain't going to go there after managing PSG and getting Tottenham to a Champions League final.
He's gone from Neymar to MA9.
It ain't going to happen, Lawless. You got more chance getting Mancini, I think, than Poch.
And Mancini, that was
he'd be quality for you. He'd be quality. Choice. And I wouldn't be crazy to go for him, actually. I know I laughed and poo-pooed it, but I was more tongue-in-cheek. I think that's the guy that you should try and tempt to West Ham. Because
like I said, like, if you're Mancini, right, you've got an offer to go back to the Prem, right? You know there's a team there. There's a quality team there. Scamacca, he knows, he loves. He was the one who told Scamacca to sign for West Ham. He's not doing anything for the next couple of years. What? He's going to have a friendly here and there and a qualifier here and there. Come and play on the biggest stage, manage on the biggest stage, the Premier League, right? And you're.
I thought you were about to say the Conference League.
Listen, don't talk about Conference League. I don't want to hear no Spurs fans talk about Conference League.
No, we're in the Champions League, mate. Though that's all that matters.
Yeah, all right. You'll be saying that in a few months, when you're knocked out.
All seriousness, Mix. I know we ain't got long. All seriousness, mate. What's got to happen for him to get sacked now for you when we get back?
Well, look. There's so many rumors from sources that are closest to the board that we have to start on the front foot, right? We have to turn things around quick time. Talks about 3 games, talks about, having to start to build up momentum immediately, yeah? Problem is now, we look at it, We've got Arsenal away. Well, our first game back, guaranteed 0 points, right? So already now, this new second part of the season where he has to turn things around, first game is going to be a loss. Then we got Brentford at home. That's going to be tough, right? Very tough. Maybe we could get a win there. Okay, you get your 3 points. Leeds away. Our away record is shocking, yeah? They're banging goals for fun. We can't score to save our lives. You know, we got some tough fixtures. And to me...
And you got Newcastle soon as well.
Yeah, we got Newcastle soon. Like, I need to see, out of those 3 games, Arsenal, Brentford, and Leeds, minimum 6 points. Minimum. Yeah? If you get 7...
Do you think you'll beat Brentford, though?
Huh?
Do you think you'll beat Brentford?
Well, I'm not confident. I can see a draw, to be honest.
Where's it at?
Is it at home?
Yeah.
So it's at the Cereal Bowl. You'll draw that.
No, the problem is, yeah. Obviously, if that was our first game back, I'd feel a bit positive about it. But we've got Arsenal away first game back, so it's a guaranteed loss. So we're already going into the next game, coming off the back of a loss, off of our confidence gets hit soon as we come back. Then we go into the Brentford game. We know how tense the atmosphere can be. If they score early, then boy, the stadium turns game over, yeah? And then we go into Leeds. So we just pick up where we left off.
Leeds away is tough, mate, as well.
If he beats Arsenal, yeah, boy, then I'm saying let's stick with him for the rest of the season. I'm riding with him to the end of the season. Beat Arsenal.
What are you talking about?
I'm there. Yeah.
Weren't they the first team to win at the Emirates?
Yeah, they were.
Last team at Highbury, first team at Emirates.
And you're the first team to beat us at our place as well.
Yeah. Yeah, see?
This guy wants him out, but he's giving him one win, and he's like, "Oh, keep him again."
If he beats that, right? Because that will show me that he's willing to change, right? Because he has never beaten one of the Sky Sports 6 teams away from home in the league in his career. Do it now when Arsenal are flying high.
Didn't he beat us though, didn't he?
No, not in the league. Not at White Hart Lane in the league, I don't think. No.
Yeah, did you beat us 1-0?
What, in the league under Moyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did as well, you know.
What, under Moyes? Are you sure it was under Moyes?
Who did you have in between David Moyes?
We had Pellegrini.
No, it weren't that fucking dinosaur. It was definitely Moyes.
I need to check that because that stat is it's been going around. That stat is there. But I'm telling you, yeah, because he beats Arsenal, he's showing me something now. And Arsenal that are flying. If he sets us up and go, do you know what? Let's fucking go for it, yeah. Let's spoil their parade. Let's fucking have, and we do it. Then you're showing me something, Moyes. But if you don't do it, well, look, I don't expect you to do it. So it's not like I was expecting anything anyway. But still, I'm just saying, you go there, we get
Bring him up and go, oh, we're not going to do it anyway. I don't expect
He's not going to do it. But if he does do it, that's something. I can hold on to it. I can say, oh, okay, there's signs of life there. There's something. You've beat Arsenal away from home when they're top. Yeah. When we fucking never get decisions at that ground. Everything goes against us at that ground. And you have gone against the odds, yeah, and you've done it. Okay, Moyes, you've shown me something. Let's see if we can kick on from here. That's what he needs to do. But he's not going to. So, boy, a fucking win against Brentford at home ain't going to convince me because we should be doing that anyway. So, boy, let's see. But the board, I'm telling you, they're going to get antsy. We got a January transfer window coming up. Are we going to spend? Throwing more money at is not the solution. We just spent 170 million. So I'm not hearing Moyes needs a left back. He needs a right back. I don't see how that changes our fortune. I don't see how we get a new left back and all of a sudden bang.
I think he's playing too many I call them fringe players. Lanzini, not good enough. Cresswell, not good enough. Fabianski for me, not good enough. Areola should play. Who's that centre back? The centre back you're playing right back. Is it Cahill? Yeah, well, at PSG, I won't look at him and wait, yeah, see you later, mate. I still have him over Emerson Royaldo, and he's terrible.
Well, yeah, he's Germany's fucking right back, mate. First choice. You bet you bloody would. Yeah?
Yeah, but how many mistakes has he had? He's had more mistakes than my
No, but the mistakes aren't
one after the other. Bang, 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 bang. He's like a walking car crash.
They're not even his fault after these mistakes. They're not even his fault. But he
You
gives
got
it
Aguerd
in.
now. You got Aguerd now. He'll be all right. You got Aguerd and Zuma. Aguerd's good.
What did I hear the
so-
other day? What is it? The Moroccan Maldini. I was like, turn it in,
Yeah.
mate.
You'll see. You're all going to see, and then you're going to be there, Potts, going, how long do you think you can keep hold of Aguerd? How long do you think? Do you think you'll stay in the summer? Watch. That's what
You better
happens.
hope. You better hope he's that good, mate. You need something.
Same way
need something.
you lot used to clown about Rice. Rice is overrated. Rice and all that. And then, do you think you'll keep Rice? Do you think you'll stay? Like, get out of here.
No,
mate.
I don't think he'll stay. Not at the moment. He won't. He's going Chelsea, mate. in the
Get
summer.
out.
The only thing with Declan Rice is fantastic footballer, but the one thing that separates the elite DMs or elite midfielders is the turn on him. And if he improves his turning, like the way to shake off a player, like Busquets does, Busquets could turn on a sixpence. Declan Rice has got the turning of a freight train. He can't turn.
Listen, the Basmati Busquets. Listen, he's
Do we not want to turn it in, mate?
You can't talk about the Basmati Busquets like that, mate.
He's not even top 3 DMs in the league yet, let alone the Basmati Busquets. He ain't no Casemiro, he ain't no Rodri, and I'd still have Fabinho over him.
He's better than anyone in your team.
He's better.
Fact-
Yeah, but we don't play with a DM, we play with CMs. And right now, Bentancur on form, I'd have Bentancur over Rice. On form right now.
Who would you rather sign, Potts? Tell me who you'd rather sign.
Oh, no, I'd rather sign Rice, but he's right. Bentancur is better at the moment. Bentancur's been quality the last few games.
Yeah, but Rice is playing in a shit team.
So he's
Well,
fucking.
no, I agree.
Mate.
I agree.
We got Eric Diazapan at the back. The geezer ain't worth a flipping wank. He's 6'3" and can't win a header.
I thought you loved Eric Dyer, and Eric Dyer loved you.
He's 4 he's bigger than my future, and he can't win a header.
Huh? I thought you sing that every week. You love Eric Dyer, and Eric Dyer loves you. In that
I don't.
I love
don't.
Eric
He's
Dyer.
similar size to Maguire. The geezer ain't worth anything. He's absolutely awful. You've got Darren Sanchez. People are calling him a Colombian Idris Elba. Idris Elba's not even a footballer. It's embarrassing. Our defence is shambles.
Yeah, man, it is. Your defense
Long may
is
it
done,
continue.
mate. Like, done out here. Honestly, man.
Our defense
Lawrence, I
is
know
better than Spurs, man. That's what I'm saying. Moyes is doing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that,
What about
actually. I'd have Zuma, Aguerd, and I would have that Kera over Davidson, Sanchez, Dyer, Davies.
What about
Royale.
Romero?
There's only Romero. He's the only one I rate.
Oh,
All the
you got
others are
one
shocking.
decent right centre back.
Yeah, it don't matter though. Right now, on form, looking at your defence, I'll take whoever right back you've got because ours is shambolic, right? Ben Davies is solid in at times. Who's your centre backs? You got Zuma.
Better. You shut up, man. Ben Davies.
Zuma, mate. Look at him and went, nah, see you later. Right? Who else you got? Aguerd's played not even played 5 Premier League games yet, has he?
No, he's been playing in Europe. He's been injured, man. So
In Europe,
still,
no, mate, you're playing against Wi-Fi passwords. I've been in that competitions. I know who you're playing against. They
came on the other day.
Right,
He's better than
Ben
Davies.
You got flipping
we've got
Virgil van Dawson. Who's
Dawson
boning.
is better than. Listen, Virgil van Dawson, Ballon Dawson is better than Ben Davies.
Mate, no, absolutely not. Come on, Potts. Virgil van Dawson, who ain't worth a wank, right? Or Davis.
I'd have Davis. Yeah.
Right, there we go.
Nah,
So Davis starts for you. Romero starts for you. And who's your left back? I'm taking Perisic all day long over that wannabe. I mean, bear in mind, right? The talk of Cresswell's career, the biggest game you've ever had, he gets sent off. He then goes and does it again. Like,
You're
preaching
to the choir. I know.
Romero and Zuma. Romero and Zuma.
I'd have Davis and I'd have Perisic. And I'd have Lloris over that Fabianski because he ain't worth anything either. I'd have Areola though.
How many howlers has fucking Lloris made this?
Yeah, but look, Fabianski, like the geezer's, how old is he now? 38?
37.
And this is going to be like Handanovic and top places about 56. Get rid of him. I want to get rid of Lloris. As soon as goalkeepers get to their 30s, they're no good anyway. Unless they're like Manuel Neuer, could save the fucking Titanic.
Goalkeepers like have the height, the fucking.
Name a good goalkeeper who's world class right now over the age of 35.
Yeah, but you just said over 30. You can't just move the
over
goalpost.
33. Over 33. Neuer, that's
I
it.
need to go get the fucking date of birth.
Neuer saves the Titanic every week for Bayern Munich. Handanovic ain't worth a wank. Hugo Lloris is absolute dross. Right, at times. Who else is there in the Premier League?
So Toby loves Lloris.
I mean, I love Toby to bits, but Lloris, this season, error against West Ham, poor distribution. Error against Arsenal, poor distribution. He got body checked by Callum Wilson, right? Playing out from the back. We've got centre-backs that don't play out from the back and a goalkeeper that is awful, yet we play out from the back. What's the point? It's like me trying to beat Michael Jordan to a basketball. It ain't going to happen. So what's the fucking point?
You know what? When I look at it, this shows you how much of a shit job Moyes is doing. Because when you look player for player, yeah, there ain't much in it between West Ham and Spurs. When you really go through all the positions.
Outside of our midfield and attack, I agree.
Kane, Son, Kulusevski, boom. Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Midfield. Højbjerg, Bentancur, and Rice sorted out.
Højbjerg, get that.
Have you seen him this season?
So there's form, mate.
You got in your midfield. You got some Czech Republic wannabe Højbjerg.
Nah, get him out of Flynn Downs, mate. Flynn Downs.
He's from Brentwood, mate. How many games has he played? 2 or 3? And you want to put him in over Højbjerg?
Moyes. It's because of Moyes.
Come on, mate.
We'll be talking a different chat, yeah, about
Bentancur and Højbjerg, or Rice, Downs, Souček, whoever other midfielder you've got, Højbjerg and Bentancur beat them.
Paqueta over.
Paqueta, what? Because he does a little cheeky fancy touch like this. He ain't worth anything either, the fucking
He's Brazilian's number 10. He's Brazilian.
I don't know how he is, because he looks nothing like a player. He went to AC Milan, they went, see you later. Then he went to Lyon, said, I can play a bit of Ballon de Foot. Why did he leave Lyon if he was that good?
What do you mean, why? Because he wanted to come play for West Ham.
That's his ambition. That's his ambition. West Ham. Who are now where? 16, 17.
Holding him down.
Holding him down. He's gone from playing with Aouar to flipping Souček. He's got to be thinking, what am I doing?
Everyone wants who no fuckers signed, apparently. Yeah.
Come on.
Listen, I think the front three of Tottenham pisses all over West Ham's, right? I understand there's a debate in defence and midfield, but for me, Declan Rice is the only one that can get into that midfield for me, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got the back four. I think Romero. Then you can start. No, in general, mate. Declan Rice 100% gets in. Romero 100% gets in. Kane, Son, Kulusevski 100% get in. You can debate some of the others, but they're the 100%ers, Lawless. You can't not have them in the team, man. They're honestly.
I'm just saying, yeah.
And this is coming from me, and I fucking hate Tottenham, right?
In that team. Paqueta and Rice, yeah. Paqueta and Rice. You can have Bentancur in front, maybe.
Right. Yeah. No Højbjerg.
No Højbjerg. No.
Yeah,
don't get him. Potts, man. Come on. Højbjerg ain't.
No, listen, I don't. This season he's been quality.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't rate him as highly as Spurs do, but he has been quality this season. And so is Bentancur. Purple
patch.
Yeah. It's a little purple patch.
So this season, the only player that I think would have a potential chance of starting for us is your goalkeeper, Areola. I wouldn't put a single, and you're right back. Centre back, Lawless, come on, mate. So your centre backs this season have been awful.
That's
from me.
Oh my god. Eric Dyer, Ben Davies. Yeah, I just can't believe.
Craig Dawson, Zuma, his highlight of his career is kicking a cat. Right?
He's won trophies. What are you talking about? He's won more than Chelsea and Tottenham. He's won more than you.
Lloris has won a World Cup. My captain's won a World Cup. I don't go over here, but West Ham won the World Cup. Lloris has won it too. My captain's lifted it. We don't go Tottenham won the World Cup. We don't do that.
He's won club at club
level.
Your
name ain't Lawless anymore. It's fucking shameless. That's what it is.
Boys, we're going to leave it there because I know you've got to go. Before I do, Henry, I feel like we haven't actually concentrated on Spurs, but you've kind of chucked them in each time, which is
we're in the mud, mate. You know this.
But top four, do you reckon, though, yeah?
All depends on January. 3 players. We need a new wing back, a new centre back, and a midfielder. We get all 3 of those, yeah. We bring in any of the Inter Milan centre backs, De Vrij, Bastoni, or Skriniar. Bring in the number. If we had any bollocks, January 1st, 60 million on the table. Let's start James Maddison. He would balls from James Maddison to Harry Kane. That's the sort of shit you see on OnlyFans, mate. You see that on OnlyFans. That is disgusting, right? Decent centre back and a decent midfielder. That's all we need. 3 Jed Spence. Big up to Johan C as well. Jed bench more like, mate. Geezer can't get no minutes.
Thing is, like, you better get a new right back because he ain't going to play Jed Spence. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, I think Tottenham will get top 4. I've said it from the start and I stand by it. I think Conte will get you top 4. I don't think you'll be in a title race. I don't think you'll win a Champions League. I thought you might have had a chance of winning a League Cup, but you've gone out of that. So it's FA Cup trophy or you ain't got another trophy again. So, unbelievable. That was a bad performance, but we won't go there because we were out as well. And so West Ham, all 3 of us are out. But I do want to say a huge thank you, Henry, because I know you've stepped in for Tobes and you've been a legend as always, mate. How can people follow you, bro?
Yeah, to anyone who wants to subscribe, it's just as you see there or there. Henry Wright TV, be appreciated. We just hit 8.2k. I know you're catching up, Dan, at a rapid pace. You'll probably overtake me soon. Big up to everyone in the chat
man.
as well.
You're still ahead of me, bro.
Subscribe to Dan's channel. Check out Lawless as well on West Ham Fan TV. I'm doing a show tomorrow at 7 p.m. with Dom. Lawless, if you're about, or Dan, if you're about, jump on. We're just going to be talking about the season as a whole, as so far. But if either of you are about, jump on. But yeah, listen, big up to everyone in the chat. And yeah, Pot's a pleasure for having me on. And yeah,
always, man. Always, bro. Always welcome. And you're a ledge. Make sure you get over to Henry Wright TV, people. Smash the subscribe. He's already at 8.5. So let's get him to 9. Let's go over to the Lawless. Get him up on socials and obviously West Ham Fan TV. We will see you tomorrow night. We're going to be back with the other guys. I think it's a 9 o'clock show. So we'll be back there with all the other guys. And D will hopefully be ranting again because he's quite funny when he loses his head. So we'll see you then tomorrow, guys. Pleasure to Lawless. Pleasure to Henry. Pleasure to everyone listening. We'll see you next time. We're out of here. Up the Arsenal. Take care.
Yeah.